Hi, grade 2. Welcome to our first science review session. In this video, we are going to revise for your quiz on Monday, December 10th. For this quiz, we have two lessons. The water cycle lesson, in which you must identify the three stages of the water cycle, and you must also identify the state of water in each of the three steps. In the second lesson, which is the pull and push lesson, you must identify the force and compare between the push force and the pull force. Water cycle is a process that never ends. It never stops. It takes the water up and then it takes it down to earth. This process happens in three stages, three steps. I will start talking about the first one. The sun heats water, causing it to evaporate. Evaporate means the sun changes the liquid water into a gas. This gas is called water vapor. So again, this step is called evaporation. During evaporation, the sun heats the water and makes it evaporate, يعني it turns it from liquid to gas, and this gas is called water vapor. The second step or stage of the water cycle is the condensation. Water vapor rises high up in the sky, where the cold air changes it back to water, forming clouds. That means that inside the cloud, and because it is cold, the water vapor, which is a gas, turns into liquid. The third and the final step of the water cycle is the precipitation. Precipitation is when the water falls down. So, when the cloud is too heavy, water falls back to earth because the water drops get big and they fall down. How do they fall down? They fall down as rain, but sometimes as snow, sleet, or hail. So the rain, snow, sleet, or hail that return to earth after condensation is called precipitation. We say that the water is precipitating. So this is the water cycle, the movement of water from the earth into the air and then back to earth is called water cycle. We can see here the sun. The sun heats the water, the liquid water, causing it to evaporate. And this step is called evaporation, which is the first step of the water cycle. Then inside the clouds, and because it's cold, the water vapor condenses and turns back into liquid. When the water droplets get big and the cloud is heavy, the water will fall down as rain, snow, sleet, or hail. Let's move now for our second lesson, which is the fifth, which is the lesson page 168. It's talking about pull and push forces. A force is a pull or a push. We move objects by pushing or pulling them. So, what's the difference between a push and a pull force? We push things away from us, but when we pull them, we bring them closer. So a push is the force that moves an object away. A pull is the force of bringing this object closer to us. We need to remember that pushing or pulling, or I will say a force doesn't always make work. So here in this drawing we can see the boy putting a force to move these two heavy boxes, but the boxes aren't moving. So the force that the boy is putting doesn't perform work. Okay, we will start solving together the monthly review sheet. We did it in class, but we will review it together. Okay, this diagram shows the water cycle process, which happens in 3 steps. In the first step, we can see the arrow going up. That means that the sun is heating the liquid water, which is changing into water vapor. The water vapor rises up high. So the first step of the water cycle is evaporation. The sun heats the liquid water and turns it into water vapor. Water vapor rises into the sky, and because it is cold up high, the water vapor condenses and turns into liquid. This step is called condensation, and it happens inside the clouds. When the water droplets get big and the cloud heavy, the water will fall down as rain, sleet, snow or hail. In this diagram, we can see the water precipitating as rain. And the third stage of the water cycle is precipitation. In your quiz, you will find a box in which you must answer. You will have an optional answer. And if you didn't watch the video, you won't guess it. Okay? So you will have bonus points if you are listening. We're gonna identify the state of matter in this diagram. The sun is a star and it is made of gas. So in the quiz, I will ask you to identify, to tell if the sun is made of solid, liquid or gas. So I'm telling you the answer now. The sun is made of gases, so it's a gas. Okay? The cloud also, because we have the water vapor in it, the cloud is a gas. Rain is liquid. The water of the sea is liquid كمان. This is our second question in the monthly review sheet. In this question, we must identify the state of matter of each of the following elements: solid, liquid or gas. The cloud again is made of water vapor, which is a gas. Rain is liquid. Liquids do not have a definite shape. Snow, sleet and hail are solids. And here again, the water vapor, for sure, the water vapor is a gas. Okay? Water vapor turns into liquid by condensation. Okay, the third question of our worksheet is talking about forces. And as I told you before, forces do not always perform work. Forces that don't move objects are not performing work. We can see the boy right here trying to push his car and moving it. This is not gonna happen. So this force isn't performing a work. The car isn't moving. The girl in here is trying to move the fridge. The fridge is heavy and the girl won't be capable of moving it. So this force also isn't performing work. The man right here is putting a force to push something, and he can move it. Okay, so this force is performing work. We have here 6 different images showing persons performing or making forces, different kinds of forces. In each of the following figure, we must identify if it is a push force or a pull force. Okay, just a quick reminder that a pull force is when we move objects closer to us. A push force is when we push them or put them away from us. Okay? In this picture, the boy is pushing the button. So this is a push force. These two men are pulling the rope, each one in a different direction. So they are pulling, they are trying to bring the rope closer to them. The girl right here is throwing the ball, pushing it away. So this image shows a push force. When we kick objects, we throw them away, we move them away from us, so we are pushing them. This is also a push force. The donkey right here is trying to pull this woody machine. So this is a pull force. The man right here is pulling the rope in his direction. He's bringing it closer to him. So this is a pull force. Come on. Okay, there is a difference between a push force and a pull force. Again, when we push things away. When we pull, we bring them closer to us. Okay, and for sure, heavier objects need more force to be moved. Forces aren't all in the same, aren't all the same. Heavy things need more force to be moved. I wish you the best of luck in your quiz. And as I always say, you can do it. I believe in you. I love you. And questions are not allowed. See you on Monday.